broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
What the hell happened? Hey, hello, everybody. This is not the morning we thought we were going to have on Wednesday, November 9. It's the exact opposite of what we thought was going to happen with the big blowout last night. We expected this to be a wave election. It was. Yeah, a tidal wave in the opposite direction. But here we are, somehow surviving and trying to figure out what the hell happened and how we move on from here. It is the Bill Press Show this Wednesday, November 9, on the wake of a big, huge victory last night by Donald Trump, believe it or not, to be the next president of the United States. God, it hurts to say that. Not only that, Republicans holding on to the Senate and holding on to the House as well. All of our dreams shattered. So let's pull together. It's a time we need friends to pull together and just commiserate and then pick ourselves up and move on. Do so by joining us. Come on, we need you this morning. 866-55-PRESS. 866-55-PRESS. Give us a call. Give us a hug.
Please.
Please, right. On Twitter, send us your thoughts at BP Show, at BP Show, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. We've been up almost all night. I know you have too. I get 2 hours sleep. Peter Ogburn and Jamie Benson.
No sleep.
No sleep.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I literally could not sleep.
Well, there'll be a lot of sleepless nights after this, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Ray Rogers is here as well. On the phones. Again, let's hear from you at 866-55-PRESS because we have been through this all together for the last 2 years. Not the ending that we wanted to see for sure. Cyprian Bolding here as well, our videographer on the job and always doing a great job. And President Obama, last night he taped an interview with BuzzFeed, and he ended that interview with an upbeat message that maybe all of us have to try to remember.
Have a good night, everybody. And remember, no matter what happens, the sun will rise in the morning, and America will still be the greatest nation on earth.
I'd like to believe that. I'm not sure the sun is going to come up this morning.
We did wake up to a very rainy Washington, D.C.
It's a rainy Washington, D.C., and I think it's going to be that way all day long. So we'll get right into it with you. We've got a lot of help coming in today. David Jackson, who has been following Donald Trump. I'm sure he was surprised as anybody else last night. David Jackson from USA Today will be joining us. Congressman Steve Israel from New York's 3rd Congressional District will be along as well. John Nichols from The Nation magazine out in the state of Wisconsin, which was a real stunner and a real disappointment, losing Wisconsin and losing Russ Feingold as well to come back to the United States Senate, which for a long time we thought was a done deal.
That was one of the safe seats for Democrats.
Yeah.
All the way up until yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it was never, ever a contest.
Right. You know, so the dimensions of this are just hard to get your arms around. It is, I just think the only word, it's a total disaster for America, for the American people, rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, you name it. I think we will rue the day that we allowed this to happen. And it certainly turns, a total disaster, it certainly turns everything upside down. I mean, the world today is upside down. There's no other way to put it. I mean, remember, it was only like 10 days ago. We were talking, by the way, with the support of everybody in the business, all the prognosticators, all the pollsters, all the strategists, saying that this was going to be an historic wave election for Hillary Clinton. We were talking about Hillary Clinton winning maybe even Arizona. Remember that? Winning Georgia. I mean, at that point, North Carolina was like a given, Wisconsin, no question about it. Florida, a given. Again, going out and talking about those red states that she was going to turn blue. I remember talking here one day that with the exception of South Carolina, the entire East Coast and the entire West Coast, remember we had that conversation?
Yep.
Would be blue. Instead, totally upside down. Michigan. Who thought that Michigan, whatever, go red? Michigan, lost Wisconsin. Almost lost Virginia. And at one point, Hillary was so far ahead in Virginia that the Clinton campaign pulled out of Virginia.
Yeah.
And the Trump campaign pulled out of Virginia because they knew they couldn't even contest it. The one that really struck me, lost Pennsylvania. You knew it was over when Hillary lost Pennsylvania. I mean, that there was no way she could win without it. And once Donald Trump got that, you knew what was going to happen. Just needed a few more electoral votes after that. Hillary losing New Hampshire, even though she spent so much time there. So did President Obama. So did Bernie Sanders. So did Elizabeth Warren. Lost New Hampshire. And then when you look at the yesterday in our special show that we did yesterday afternoon on Free Speech TV, we had 3 millennials, a young African American, a young woman from Emily's List, a young Latino, talking about those 3 constituencies, the new American majority. 29% of Latinos in the exit polls, 29% voted for Donald Trump.
Think about that.
That's more than Mitt Romney got.
Think about that.
And he has declared war on Latinos. This whole campaign from day one was war on Latinos. Think about that. Yeah, what happened?
Not only build a wall, but to round them up and ship them out of the country.
Right.
If there was 1% of the Latino vote for Donald Trump, that was too much.
Yeah. African Americans didn't vote. They gave most of the vote to Hillary, but didn't vote in numbers that was hoped for or expected. Young people, again, exit polls, 37% of young people, millennials, voted for Donald Trump. How could they vote for Donald Trump if they care about their future? Women voting for Donald Trump, particularly white women.
Yeah. If you look at all the numbers across the board, what really put Donald Trump over the top here was white people.
This is a white surge.
Yeah, this was the white surge. You're absolutely right. So white women made up 37% of all voters. 53% of them voted for Donald Trump. A majority of white women voted for Donald Trump.
For a man who has said the worst things about women of anybody I know ever. And they turn around and
boggles the mind.
Vote for Donald Trump. So it does turn everything upside down, and also in everything we believe. I think everything we believe in has just been wiped out. I mean, seriously, if you believe in women, this is a man who's going to appoint people to the Supreme Court. He has said so. Who will overturn Roe v. Wade, and probably put all kinds of restrictions, not just on abortion, but on contraception, on birth control. I mean, this is a Donald Trump who says, he thinks a woman shouldn't even be working. They ought to be home fixing his dinner. And if he gets home and dinner's not ready, then he's pissed off.
Yep.
That's what, if you believe in women's rights, how could we elect somebody like that? If you believe in the environment, if you believe in saving the planet, this is a guy, again, I don't think there'll be an EPA under Donald Trump. I mean, he has pledged to reverse everything that President Obama did to try to move toward some restrictions, to slowing down climate change, doing something about global warming. Donald Trump says it's a hoax invented by the Chinese to help their business interests. So how can we elect, if you believe in that, no matter what you believe in, if you really believe in workers' rights. This is a guy who says there shouldn't be any minimum wage, but there shouldn't be any unions. No, just let the CEOs and the contractors decide everything. I mean, he doesn't believe in average working class Americans, and yet they turned around and voted for him. Everything that we as progressives, And I would go so far as to say everything that we in Americans believe in under the Constitution, he is antithetical to all of that. And he's going to be the next president of the United States.
If you think about...
Sorry, I'm looking for some bright lights here. There aren't any.
Give us some, please. I could use some. If you think about what Barack Obama did as president when he took over and where we were when George W. Bush left office and the depths from which he pulled us from and his administration, we are now looking at the Supreme Court, Obamacare,
Obamacare,
global warming, as you mentioned. We have known anti-Semites running the presidential branch. We've got federal lands that are going to be fair game. Roe versus Wade is probably gone.
Yeah,
We're going to round up Mexico. So every good thing that Barack Obama did as president is now at the mercy of Donald Trump.
And you didn't mention the economy. President Obama, it's taken a long time, but the economy is back. Record job numbers, wages are coming back up, the stock market booming. You watch what it does today, I'm afraid to say. It went up 300 points after Comey cleared Hillary Clinton at the end of yesterday, Sunday, and 300 points on Monday. That was a vote of confidence in Hillary Clinton. Wait till you see the vote of non-confidence in Donald Trump. We are in for a slump. I hope not another recession. I'm not going to predict that. But the markets are really jittery, and it's going to show today.
The markets were so horrified last night.
Oh, yeah. It started.
Immediately started dropping. The futures went down like 1,000 points. That's worse than it was after 9/11.
Yeah. By the way, two quick, there are a couple of bright spots, right? Tammy Duckworth getting elected in Illinois, first Asian American woman, United States Senator. Catherine Cortez Masto out in Nevada did get elected, but Republicans still control the Senate. Those are two bright spots. And legalization of pot passed in California and in Massachusetts. Not yet sure whether it's going to pass up in Maine. There's a couple of bright spots, but boy, you got to look hard for any bright spots today. Yes, please, let's pull together here. What do you think? Do you see any hope at all? Beverly is out in St. David, Illinois. Beverly, bad day at Black Rock.
Well, let me put it this way. Women are stupid. White people, this is the white males coming back, taking over, and I'm, being a senior citizen and a widow, I'm scared to death. Paul Ryan says he wants to voucherize Social Security for Medicare. Medicaid is going to be a voucher set. I'm screwed. And the program that I am living in my house right now, he's probably going to take the money away, and I'm going to be on the street. I'm scared to freaking death.
Well, Beverly, you ought to be. All the things that you mentioned are part of the Republican agenda. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
This is something that Paul Ryan has wanted to do. He's had it in his budget. He's had it in his program. And now, you know what? The American people have given him a green light. I mean, I just hope to hell that American people wake up and realize what this is. Somebody did compare this to Brexit. This is like Brexit, which was one of the most stupid votes ever in the history of the planet. And this happened to be the people of UK. Well, why didn't we learn from them instead of imitating them?
I hate to say this.
They all regret now that they voted Brexit. Right away they said, oh, damn, we didn't think it was going to pass. We just voted for it. If we'd known it was going to pass, we wouldn't have voted for it. Well, guess what? Yeah, you got Trump.
I hate to say this, but Donald Trump even said this was going to be Brexit plus.
We played that clip yesterday.
It was.
Out in Imperial Beach, California. Hey, Michael, thanks for checking in. What do you think?
Hey, Bill and everybody. What an amazing reality we all woke up to today. Bill, how can it be that a Republican Party that denigrated Donald Trump all now stand up and applaud to hail the new chief and his family values, 5 children with 3 wives? And what do y'all think the rest of the world thinks of Americans today? Thanks, Bill.
Michael, I can tell you what a lot of people think of Americans. We've heard from a lot of them. Just on a personal level, I had 5 emails when I woke up this morning from friends in France saying, what the hell happened? What have you done? Richard Engel, who's the national foreign correspondent for NBC News. And by the way, I never thought of Richard Engel as political at all. But he's met with all these foreign leaders. He is out there. He is on the ground. He's an incredible reporter. And he said last night, here he is, catastrophe.
People I'm speaking to think it's absolutely catastrophic, that it's catastrophic for the United States, that it's catastrophic for our position in the world. It emboldens our enemies and adversaries. It makes our allies terrified that we're not going to be their allies anymore. Most people think that this type of scenario happens, that if you imagine the United States as a nuclear warship, we stop. We become totally focused on our own domestic politics.
Yeah, it's just going to be.
He was so good. And one of the things he also says is we might find ourselves in a position where troops have to say to our commander-in-chief, we can't do that. You're giving us orders that we can't carry out.
God,
we might actually see that here in America.
Yeah. Disaster of the first order. 22 minutes after that, we'll take a quick break, take more of your calls. I see them here, and we want to hear from you. 866-55-PRESS. The only consolation is that we remain strong. We remain together. We just got to pull together this morning here. Here's the chance to do it on The Bill Press Show.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.